This is the eastern diamondback rattlesnake. Watch out there, Elvis. They are the largest rattlesnake in the world. They're found in the southeastern United States. They are found in South Alabama. This one's broke most of his rattle off, so he can't make much noise. He's heavy. You should pick him up out of the end of this stick. It's very heavy. You know, he's a big, heavy rattlesnake. They have long fangs and they have potent venom, and you could die from an eastern diamondback bite. They're a big rattlesnake, beautiful rattlesnake. Now, rattlesnake's a pit viper, which means he has a heat-locating pit between his eye and nostril that he uses to seek out warm-blooded food. And these are big enough to eat cottontail rabbits and squirrels. They can eat pretty large animals. They're heavy. The world's record is like 8 feet long. You can see this is a big rattlesnake, heavy rattlesnake. Heavy, hard to hold up out on the end of this stick, you know. If you see somebody holding a rattlesnake out on the end of a stick and says he weighs 90 pounds, that's a lie. You can't put 90 pounds on the end of a stick. Even a snake like this that weighs, I don't know what this snake weighs, 20 pounds maybe. He's very, very heavy on the end of a stick. They are our largest rattlesnake. Now, the venom is a hemotoxin, which affects the blood and tissue. There are some neurotoxic qualities to it. And bitten by a rattlesnake, it can eat away the flesh. You'll immediately feel it in your mouth, the tingling. And, I'm very cautious moving back with this snake because he's hot as a firecracker. He will not hesitate to bite you. I've been around eastern diamondbacks that are pretty placid, and this one is not the case. He'd be very, very happy to bite you. See that tongue sticking out, taste in the air. Inside of his head, he has a Jacobson's organ that identifies those tastes and smells, which helps him identify his food. And I had an eastern diamondback for years, and I always fed it, squirrels and rats, and they bite the animal. The squirrels I would feed it were dead, found on the road, but the rats I would feed it, he would bite these rats, and then he would let them run off and die, and then he would find them, track them down with his tongue. After keeping the snake for years, I put a small chicken in there. And when he grabbed the chicken, he grabbed it and held on to it. He didn't turn it loose, which is a behavior I'd never seen in a snake before. So the instinct in his brain told him that bird, if he bit it and let it fly away, he couldn't track it down with that tongue. So he had to hold the bird, and he held that thing in his mouth until it died, and then he swallowed it whole. And I was amazed to know that God put this instinct in that snake, and immediately when he tasted that bird, he knew he couldn't bite that thing and let it go. He had to grab it and hold on to it. Survival instinct put in the snake. They're the largest rattlesnake in the world, and they are big, heavy, beautiful, magnificent rattlesnakes. Look at the pattern on him. Look how beautiful he is. Look how huge he is. Look how heavy the snake is. I mean, that is a monster rattlesnake. What a beautiful creature. The eastern diamondback, the world's largest rattlesnake. Out in Texas, they've got a western diamondback that gets very close to the same size, gets very, very big. They call the western diamondback a coon-tailed rattlesnake because of the black and white bands around its tail. And it's more of a sandy color, but it looks very similar. But look at the head on this guy. What a huge head. And I use a very wide snake stick. This snake stick's over 1 inch wide because I don't want to use a narrow stick to pick up his heavy body. I don't want to damage his ribs, You have to be careful with a snake like this. You can easily damage him. And pinning his head down and picking him up by the head, he'd thrash around, very dangerous, could damage his neck. And just picking him up by the head could kill the snake. It could damage his neck to where he couldn't even eat his food. So we're very cautious and careful when we pick them up. But look at the size of that eastern diamondback. What a beautiful animal, huh? Huge snake, huge. And hot, whoo, hot. We say hot, for venomous snakes. We say hot because it's hot. If you get bit one, woohoo! Bit by one, you'll know hot. All right, so we're gonna put the diamondback up. I hope you like the eastern diamondback video. We're gonna put him back up. What a big guy, huh?